Have you ever wondered how a place on the map just levels up? You know, goes from being a part of something bigger to becoming its own full-fledged province? Well, it's not magic. It's actually a super interesting legal process, and that's exactly what we're going to break down today.
So yeah, that's the big question, right? How does it actually happen? Turns out, it's a journey, and it has some really clear rules and steps. So let's dive in and start right at the beginning.
Okay, so before any place can get this big promotion, we've got to understand where it's starting from. What even is a subprovince, and what makes it different from a regular one?
The easiest way to think about it is that a sub-province is kind of semi-independent. It's still administratively tied to a bigger parent province. They might share resources, some governance, that kind of thing. A regular province, on the other hand, is completely on its own. It's a fully independent unit with all the powers that come with it. And really, it's that desire for total independence that kicks this whole thing off.
All right, so how do you even start this journey from being partially autonomous to fully independent? Well, here's the cool part. It's not some decision made by a few people in a stuffy room. Nope. The power to kickstart this whole change, it's put right into the hands of the people who live there.
And that right there brings us to the absolute heart of it. The very first step, the big red button that gets this whole promotion started, is a vote, a truly democratic choice. Now, the official name for this is a plebiscite. Sounds fancy, but it's really just a powerful kind of direct democracy. All the citizens who are affected get to vote on one single critical question. Basically, hey, do we want to become our very own province? But wait, here's where it gets really interesting. It's not just one vote. For this to actually work, two separate votes have to pass, and they have to happen at the same time. One vote for the people living in the subprovince, and another separate vote for everyone in the original parent province.
And the rule here is super strict. You need a majority, more than half the voters in both places, to say yes. If the subprovince votes yes, but the parent province votes no, game over. The process stops right there. It has to be a mutual decision to go their separate ways. You can see why, right? It's all about making sure things are stable and that this is what everybody really wants.
Okay, let's imagine the votes are counted. It's a double yes, so what happens next? I mean, you can't just flip a switch and have a brand new government pop up overnight, right? Of course not. The law actually has a very clear, carefully planned roadmap for a smooth and stable transition of power. This whole path to new leadership is laid out on a timeline. It all starts on vote day, which is usually timed to happen during a national election. That vote kicks off what's called a transition period. During this time, the old officials from the subprovince stay on to finish their terms. Meanwhile, the president steps in and appoints temporary leaders for the brand new province. And all of this is leading up to the next election, when the people finally get to vote for their very first permanent governor and all the other officials.
So let's get into the nitty-gritty of who's in charge during this in-between phase. First, you've got the current officials. They stay put until their terms are up. This is super important to avoid a power vacuum. Then you have the new folks appointed by the president. They're the ones who'll manage the new provincial government for now. What about Congress? Well, the district's representative just keeps on serving until the next election. And maybe most importantly for everyday life, all the career government employees, the civil servants, they all keep their jobs. This is absolutely key to making sure that essential public services keep running smoothly without any hiccups.
And just so we're clear, this isn't some made-up power. It is spelled out word for word right in the law. This confirms that the president has the authority to appoint this temporary government. It's like building an essential bridge to get everyone safely from the old system to the new one.
So after all that, the votes, the transition period, the first elections, what do we have? We have the final outcome. A new province is officially born.
And the changes, well, it's huge. You're talking about a place going from being tied to another province to being completely independent. It goes from having its old leaders to its very own newly elected ones. And it starts the journey of getting its own voice, its own representatives in the national legislature. I mean, this is a massive shift, not just in power, but in identity too.
So, if there's one big thing to take away from all this, it's that the whole system is built on two key ideas: democracy and stability. The people get to make the choice, and the law provides a structured, orderly way to turn that choice into reality, all without everything descending into chaos.
But, you know, getting officially created is really just step one. It's the starting line of a whole new journey. And that leaves us with one last, really big question to think about. What kind of challenges does a brand new, newborn province actually face from day one?